And for more on the potentially global implications of this operation, let's bring in Executive Vice President at the Center for International Policy, Matt Duss. Matt, thank you for joining me. The Trump administration is defending this action by framing it as a law enforcement operation meant to capture a man they describe as a narco-terrorist. What do you make of that characterization?
Well, I think everyone should be very skeptical of this. Yes, it's true that Maduro was indicted in the United States, but using the domestic indictment as a justification to invade a foreign country and essentially kidnap its leader is fairly unprecedented. It's really concerning to think about what other governments could use this justification for in the future, should they try it and do so. So really justifying what is a U.S. invasion of a foreign country on the basis of this indictment and this warrant, I think is very, very questionable, to say the least.
Matt, I want to look ahead here. What do you think this operation means for the U.S.'s reputation and standing on the world stage moving forward?
Well, I think if the United States has an interest, and as I believe it should, in upholding a set of rules and international law that countries should follow instead of just asserting that might makes right, which is what we see here, this is pretty bad. I mean, there are going to be enormous consequences. Looking at President Trump's justification for this war to say that, well, we don't like this leader, so we've asserted a right on the basis of our own security to invade this country and remove him. That is essentially what Vladimir Putin argued in justifying his invasion of Ukraine. So by what right would the United States or other countries that have gone along with this oppose that invasion or future invasions? For example, a Chinese invasion of Taiwan. So again, I think that upholding a set of rules and laws for all countries around the world is something that makes Americans safer. It makes the world safer. It makes the world more stable and secure. But that project took a serious hit today.
And Matt, what does this mean for the future of Venezuela and the future of the region?
That's a good question. I mean, Donald Trump clearly, even though this was an attempt at regime change, it basically just removed the top leader. The vice president seems to have taken power, although according to Donald Trump's comments today, she'll be ruling under the guidance, if not control, of the United States, which obviously is a huge blow to her credibility. Donald Trump did not have very supportive words for Maria Corina Machado, who is the opposition leader who recently received the Nobel Peace Prize. So it does not seem that plans of putting the government in control, under the control of the opposition, is something Trump is thinking about. In fact, it doesn't seem that he's thought about this much at all, which is the real problem here. Removing a leader of a country and kind of establishing foreign control does not have a very good history, especially not in the past several decades, where the U.S. tried and failed at this in Iraq and Afghanistan and elsewhere. But that seems like what we're getting into right now.
All right, Matt Duss, thank you for that.